2022 Genesis G80 Sport First Drive, getting warmer. But before we start, please support us by pressing the like and subscribe buttons, so that we can continue to provide information about car and motorcycle news. Also turn on the bell button to get the latest updates. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you. Genesis clearly isn't wasting any time. Just one model year after the G80 failed to move the needle at our 2021 Car of the Year competition, the luxury brand has already reworked the V6 half of its lineup. That pedal-to-the-metal ambition typifies the new 2022 Genesis G80 Sport, a 375 horsepower luxury sports sedan that should entertain buyers seeking alternatives to the Mercedes-Benz E450 and BMW 540i. It's not a perfect effort, though, and here's what the updated G80 3.5T model does right and where it's still not a match for the competition. What is the G80 Sport? The word sport does not appear on the 2022 G80 Sport, but AWD and 3.5T badges give away the twin-turbo powerplant and drivetrain underneath its sheet metal. The G80 weighs more than almost everything in its segment, but Genesis has optimized how its midsize sedan steers and handles, an effort that starts with a suspension that's stiffer by 4% up front and 12% in the rear. If you want a 6-cylinder G80, the Sport is now the only trim, and AWD is standard. The 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 produces 375 horsepower and 391 pounds-to-foot of torque, unchanged figures from the 2021 G80 3.5T. The biggest update is a new rear-wheel steering system. This is the first time Genesis has used the technology, and not only is it a bit of a rarity among sedans, it's a good fit on the G80. Just like the setup we knew and loved on the now discontinued Lexus Gs, the G80's rear wheels can turn up to 2 degrees in the opposite direction of the front wheels at low speeds and the same amount in phase at higher velocities. The 2022 G80 Sport feels a little more agile in corners, and as a bonus, its turning circle has been cut by nearly 2 feet, to 36.2 feet. That tech doesn't come free, of course, and you must get a 2022 G80 Sport Prestige model to access it. That version carries a $6,300 premium over the standard Sport, and gets a sportier tune for the electronically controlled suspension, as well. Prestige also means an upgrade from intricately styled 19-inch wheels to 20s, as well as a swap of aluminum to carbon fiber trim, Nappa leather seats, a head-up display, and the awesome remote smart parking assist, among other updates. How the G80 Sport drives. One trip to a winding road reveals a truth about the 2022 G80 Sport. This is more a sporty G80 than a sports sedan from Genesis. After more than 8,000 miles with our one-year Mercedes-Benz E450, we know how solidly it drives. Neither car is perfect, however. The E450's tires give out when you start to push, and while the G80 Sport doesn't show the same behavior, its additional weight is obvious in tighter curves when you're really moving, and the engine doesn't sound as refined as it could. The Genesis is more at home at moderately spirited speeds, where you're still guaranteed to feel more of the road through the steering and suspension than you might in a more luxury-focused four-door. Our biggest criticism about the 2021 G80 was its lack of body control and poor suspension tuning. On the 2022 G80 Sport, those issues have been at least partially alleviated, making the Genesis more compelling. The G80 no longer exhibits quite as much pitch and dive upon the initial application of brakes or throttle. The car is more buttoned down, and the suspension feels firm, even in comfort mode, but not harsh. The AWD system can send up to 100% of available power to the rear wheels, and with the electronic limited slip differential, power can be distributed between the left and right rear wheels. When not driven at the limit, which, let's be honest, is just about all the time, you'll feel that available rear steering system exerting a subtle but definite influence around town. Compared to the E450, the G80 Sport is quieter, with almost no wind noise but some tire noise depending on the road surface. The 8-speed auto does its job, staying out of the way unless we kick the car into one of the 2 sport modes. Both allow a little more movement of the rear end if you drive aggressively enough, but in a straight line, the bragging rights of having 375 horsepower only go so far. Based on previous Motor Trend testing, we expect the G80 Sport to merely keep up with the less powerful Mercedes-Benz E450, BMW 540i, and Audi A6 3.0T. Those sedans all offer a longer driving range, as well, thanks in part to better efficiency than the G80 Sport's 17/26 of a mile per gallon city/highway.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like. Leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.